Hey YouTube, Tooextrememx here, and today I was actually getting my quad ready for this nice warm weather we're starting to have where I live. And as I was putting a few things back together, I noticed my steering was really stiff. It did not want to turn. As most of you know, I have currently no front wheels, nothing on the front end of this right now, so it should spin fairly easy back and forth. Well, needless to say, it was a lower bearing. There's a bearing that actually sits in the bottom race here, and I went and I got the bearing out, and actually here's what I found. As you can see, it's quite gunked up. It's a sealed bearing, so there's no way to grease it up while it's on the bike, so I had to actually order a new one. Wasn't too bad, only 15 bucks. But what happened when I was actually trying to remove the bearing out, I found that there's actually a retaining ring in here that holds the bearing in. Now, the retaining ring isn't like most retainers. It's not a C-clip or, you know, a little piece of metal in there holding it in. It's actually a screwed in, which, you know, it looks like you use like a reverse socket on it. It screws into place right in here. It threads in and it holds the bearing in there. Now, I looked through my manual and found the part number for the tool that I needed to get this out. And the tool itself, every place I looked, was anywhere between $65 and $75. Now, me being a cheap bastard as I am, I had to figure out a way to get this off without spending a lot of money for a stupid little tool I may use once a year, maybe once every 2 years. So what I did is I went around, I figured this looks like a nut, you know, the size of an actual bolt. I figured if I can get a bolt big enough to fit in here, I could probably weld it to a good steel rod or whatnot. Because as you see, I got a bunch of metal here. Figured I could use, you know, get a bolt and weld it to a rod and use it as a tool. What I did is I had to go around. I went to a lot of different places that sell hardware, and nobody had one either big enough or small enough to fit this. This is actually 30 millimeters. The size, so it would require a bolt with the actual bolt size. You know, you require a wrench that's 30 millimeters. I couldn't find a bolt that size. I found one a little bit bigger, and I went around and made myself a little tool. Now, it's a handy little tool. It's got a good steel handle on it, everything. This one here this bolt size is quite a bit bigger. I actually had to grind it down. Took me a while to grind it because I had to grind a little at a time and keep checking it with my veneer calipers to make sure that I'm not grinding too much off on each side. But I got it down to just under 30 millimeters, which, as you can see here, take the retainer, fits right on there nice. That helped me get this out. Now, again, like I said, they sell the tool, looks similar to this, you know, almost identical to this, except for this part here is really thin. I mean, it's probably about an 1/8 inch steel on each, you know, side. So it's really thin, and it's, you know, kind of cheaply made, but they want $65 to $75 for it. So what I decided to do is I went out and I just got, you know, I had some extra steel laying around from some other projects that I was doing, and I went out and bought these bolts. Now, the bolts are quite expensive. I ended up spending a little bit more than I wanted to making the tool, because the bolts only come in a huge size, and I had to cut it down. So what I'm going to do is, if anybody's interested, what I'll do is I'm gonna make up a couple of these. If you're interested in one of these, go ahead and post a comment in the video or send me a message. I priced out everything. I'm even got the plastic dip for the handle. I made a little handle for it, so it, good grip. You're not grabbing bare metal. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, if somebody else is interested in these, I figure I'm gonna sell them for like 30-35 bucks, including shipping. If you're interested, just go ahead and let me know. I can make a couple more of these up. Takes me probably about a day to make one, with the welding and everything that I need to do, and the grinding, because these bolts are really hard to grind down. It took me to make this one, it took me almost 2.5 hours of grinding just to get it to the right size. But if you're interested and would like one, I know this works on the YFZs for this retaining nut to change your steering bearing. I don't know what other model quads may have the same style system where it has a retaining nut, but these are actually also called dampener tools. Some shocks off of dirt bikes and stuff require a 30mm tool just like this to remove the dampening rod out of the shock. So if this is something that you may be interested, go ahead, send me a message and I'll get back to you, and maybe I can do one up for you. Like I said, I'm probably gonna be selling these for like 30-35 bucks, just to cover the cost of all the metal and everything. And if I have a couple more orders, I have to go buy the more metal and stuff. But just let me know. Just a little quick info video for you. If you have any questions or anything, just feel free to leave a comment, send me a message. I can get back to you as soon as I can. Guys, this is Tooextrememx. Have fun riding.